welcome to Christmas Unwrapped. You should all have right now a booklet that looks like this and a pen. I'd like you to open it onto page 2 and I'd like you to write your name in the box. Hopefully the most straightforward thing you'll do today. Okay, so Christmas Unwrapped, what's it all about? Well, sounds a bit like presents, doesn't it? And in a way it is about presents. Well, a present, not presents like the ones we get under the tree. And in a minute we're going to watch a clip of somebody who's stolen all the presents in his town. Not because he likes presents particularly, but because he hates Christmas. And he thinks that if he gets rid of all the presents, he'll get rid of Christmas. Who do you think that might be? Have a quick chat with your neighbour. Yeah, that's right, the Grinch. The Grinch, we're going to watch him in a minute. He's just got to the top of the mountain. He's got a sleigh full of all the presents from Whoville, and he's just about to tip them all the way down the mountainside. Let's watch and see what happens.
Mr. Grinch! Mr. Grinch!
Now for the final note in my symphony of downright nasty, not niceness. The crescendo of my odious opus. Oh, the wailing and the gnashing of teeth. The bellowing of the bitterly bombed out. It'll be like music to my ears.
Then the Grinch heard a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow.
Huh?
But the sound wasn't sad. Why, this sounded merry. But it was merry. Very. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came.
Somehow or other, it came just the same.
Mr. Grinch!
And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling.
How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags.
And he puzzled and puzzled till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before.
Maybe Christmas,
He thought,
doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more.
Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. Maybe it does. What I'd like you to do at the moment is to turn to page 9 in your booklet, where we've got a page that starts to think about. And we're going to write down some things we find out today. So, first of all, I'd like you to find a bit that says, what did the Grinch wonder about Christmas? And I think that quote's worth looking up again. So if you'd like to write this down, maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. In a way, the Grinch was absolutely right. Christmas is about a present. As I said earlier, not presents like we get under the tree, but one big, super amazing present that was delivered over 2,000 years ago and over 3,000 miles away. And when you get a present, what do you want to do with it? Of course, you want to unwrap it, don't you? Take this one, for example. Looks really nice. I'd love to see what was inside. But first, a couple of questions. What's important about this question? Is the wrapping important? Well, is the label important? Is the content important? What's inside? Well, actually, yes, all of them are important. I mean, the wrapping might make the present look super pretty, and it might protect what's inside. If it's going through the post and it's wrapped in brown, it might have on it the direction for the postie to help him find your house. And the label. That's important, isn't it? Because when you read that, it tells you who it's from, so you can make sure to say thank you to them. And what about inside? The present inside, well, that's the most important thing of all, isn't it? I mean, imagine if there wasn't a present actually inside. That would be a bit disappointing, wouldn't it? Let me tell you a story about a really good friend of ours. Her name's Lisa, and many years ago, we were celebrating her birthday, and we'd brought her a lovely present. And we went to visit her, and we went out for a delicious meal, and we had some fantastic friends with us. We had a really great evening, and then we went back home, and we got to the exciting present opening time. And Lisa took our present when we gave it to her, and she looked excited to find out what was in the middle. And she unwrapped it, and inside she found a little black bag. And she looked at it, and she said, "Oh, thank you, that's nice," and put it on one side. And to be honest, she looked really disappointed. Wonder why she was disappointed? Why do you think she looked so sad? You can pause the video at the moment and just have a little discussion as to why Lisa was sad. Of course, Lisa never actually found the real present. She didn't look inside the bag. So, of course, at that point, we made her look inside the bag, and inside she found the lovely sparkly silver earrings that we knew that she'd love. And we all had a good laugh about it. Everything ended up fine in the end. But imagine the case where somebody had all that build-up, the lovely meal, the party, the friends around, the present, the unwrapping, and then there was nothing in the middle. That would be terrible, wouldn't it? It would be a real disappointment. And in a way, that's exactly what we've done to Christmas. Let's take a look at it.
Right, so for most people, Christmas is a really exciting time when everybody is looking forward to it. Imagine when you were 3 or 4 or 5, Christmas never seemed to come, did it? You're always waiting for it. And I'm really excited at Christmas, so I get a Christmas present and my birthday as well. But even if we started in January, you've only got 12 months to wait for Christmas. The first Christmas was promised by God. Well, he sent special messengers, and they went to the Jewish people, and you can read about those in the Old Testament part of the Bible. He promised that he would send them a king and to save them from all their enemies. Well, how long do you think it was they had to wait for that particular king? Talk to the person next to you and see if you can come up with an answer. If you're very clever at maths and remember what year it is, you might get closer to the answer. Okay, and the answer was 700 years. You see, God has sent messengers to them over a period of 300 years, and he was promising them a special king. And then, after that 300 years, God didn't send any messages for another 400 years. And during that 400-year period, they began to wonder what sort of king it would be that would come. And then the Romans invaded, and they thought, yes, God is going to send a superhero, somebody who's going to get rid of all the Romans. But what did they get? They got a baby. And the baby was from a poor family. Not very much like a king, was it? So they had to wait a long time for this king to arrive, and they didn't expect a baby. Now, Mary had to wait a long time for the baby too. How long do you think Mary had to wait? Have a chat with the person next to you and see if you can come up with an answer. Yeah? 9 months. That's about right, yes. And she was somebody who was quite young, only about 14 years of age, and she was engaged to be married. But God sent a special baby, and that baby was the king that they were waiting for. Now, lots and lots of people, they start planning for next Christmas when the one is just over. So it'd be in January or February next year, somebody would be looking forward and saying, great, what can we do for Christmas next year?
Now, if you open your booklets to page 3, there's a nice little challenge we've got for you. You have to try and guess who has to start which job before Christmas. So there's 4 jobs that need doing before Christmas and 4 periods of time before that date that things need to be started. So if you pause the video for a few minutes and just link up those boxes and see if you come back afterwards, and we'll see how many you got right. Great, so hopefully you managed to link up all of the boxes there. I'm going to run through the answers. So the first one, shops order their Christmas cards. That happens 48 weeks before Christmas. And the second, farmers start fattening up turkeys. That happens 15 weeks before Christmas. And shops put their Christmas displays up. That's 10 to 12 weeks. And the last day you can send cards or presents is 3 days before Christmas Day. So as they have to get ready for Christmas, so do we. And at this time of year, there's a lot going on. You have to get presents and cards ready. You have to get all the food and buying and stuff in and decorations up to make everything look very special. We're at the end of part 1 now, but in part 2, we'll give you a decoration you can make in preparation for Christmas. So we'll see you in part 2.